DreamHack ASTRO Open is brought to you by ASTRO, Monster Energy, Corsair, Zowie, Intel, and Lenovo Legion.
Welcome back to the DreamHack ASTRO Open Montreal. We are in the Quebec province of Canada. I don't see any White Walkers around here, and things are getting a little bit chillier, but certainly something is heating up, and that is this Immortals and Luminosity matchup. That is right. But first, let me take a second to thank our sponsors in ASTRO, Monster Energy, Zowie, Corsair, Intel, and Lenovo Legion. My name is Stunna. I am your host for the weekend here at DreamHack ASTRO Open Montreal. With that being said, let's go ahead and reintroduce, in case you're joining us for the first time this evening, my counterparts here in Pimp and Hazed. Guys, has anything stuck out to you today that has surprised you?
How bad CLG was. I'll just say it, man. They're bad.
I mean, you know, it's a little rough around the edges when you say it that way, but I personally think that's you're not wrong. And you didn't sugarcoat it, and I can applaud you for that. So certainly on that note, how about that Gale Force game?
Yeah, I'm surprised about how well they played, and I'm also a little bit surprised about how North not really showing up in the first game. Not sure how much we should put into that, but impressed by Gale Force.
Well, let's take a look at the groups. I do believe we're going to pull those up in front of you and kind of give you guys a rundown on how we got to the point that we're at now. Cloud9 stomping on Complexity, 16-5, where they advanced to the winner's match. Where they will be playing the winner of our next matchup, Immortals and Luminosity. Let's flip the page now to group number A. Just kidding, number A. That's not a real thing. I made that up. North, Gale Force going the distance. So far, kind of the shocker of this whole show. But ultimately, North coming out on top with the 16 rounds. Now, we just witnessed Kingwin kind of run all over CLG, as James Hazed Cobb said. There is no sugarcoat in that one. That was a slaughter.
Absolutely, and you know, against Gale Force, who just had a great performance against North. I mean, that's looking like a pretty nice matchup. Yeah,
it looks like it could come down to that one, but we definitely have a matchup now that is one to rival it within Immortals and Luminosity. Right away, guys, just give me a quick pick. Don't even think about it. Don't explain it. Who do you got?
Immortals.
Immortals.
Oh, that was that. I guess the chat also chiming in. By the way, if you're just joining us, you can participate in this by using !IMM or !LG to cast your vote in the chat and tell us who you think will be winning this next matchup. Now, I do believe that there's something to say about Brazilian CS in terms of knowing one another and how one another plays, right? So we've seen it in the past. We've seen it within the Tempo Storm, and before it was SK, then Luminosity. We've seen just how fluid they are amongst one another.
It's like it always is in domestic lineups. Like we have it even in Denmark, where I'm from. Like whenever Astralis play North, or at least back in the days when Astralis played Dignitas, when I was a part of it, they always played a little bit less good. I'd say, like we always got closer than we probably were back then in terms of like the scoreline, and that's also how I feel like it is with a lot of our teams, especially the Brazilians. Luminosity and Immortals, I believe they played in Pro League a few days ago, where it also split 1-1 between them. So definitely potential for a close game here.
Potential for a close game. We're taking a look now at the Immortals lineup as they are getting seated and getting ready to go, getting their last-minute changes in there. Now, an interesting aspect here, and I'm not sure that everyone knows this, but KNG is actually on site. Zach was slated to fill in for him, barring, I believe, some visa issues. But it seems as though that has been sorted. KNG is here, maybe just slightly jet-lagged. Is it going to be beneficial? Is it going to hurt? What do we know?
I mean, I would imagine it's only going to hurt. I think he's definitely the player to watch, because lately he's been the most impactful player on that team. Anytime they had big wins, he was always dropping, you know, almost 30 kills, it felt like. He's such an aggressive player, and hopefully the jet lag doesn't get to him and he's not aggressive, he plays passive. That would be terrible for Immortals.
Well, when we flip the script here, take a look at this Luminosity lineup. And our first player is going to be Yell, followed by Showtime, PKL, Cello, and Nikazi. I'm not sure how to pronounce that one.
I'll just go Nikas.
Yeah, it sounds good to me. But what do we think about this Luminosity lineup?
I mean, Yell's definitely the player to watch. He seems like the superstar of the team, and I would also be watching Cello. He's the newcomer along with Nekis, who came from, I believe it's Pain Gaming. Yep. This team has been definitely on the rise lately, and it's almost par for the course for Brazilians. I feel like every Brazilian team just gets better and better and better and better. I feel like none of them stagnate.
It's kind of cool to watch, right? Pimp, when we look at these two lineups, I mean, you could assemble a great team out of the two of them put together, but standalone, they're still pretty powerful lineups.
They're definitely powerful. It's like we talk about, like, we have SK being the #1 team in Brazil, obviously, and then we have Immortals being the clear #2, and then Luminosity the clear #3. You know, it's like it's very set in stone in the scene right now for the Brazilians, but they're so good, all of them. And I feel like now we finally get to see the Immortals. I think they've been in the States for 1.5 years now, and it's starting like it's starting to come through now and shine through that time they invested into moving their life into the States, you know, actually is paying off now, because they're playing well and playing better than they probably have ever done.
Big brother to middle brother to little brother.
To little brother.
It's kind of the way it works out. Let's take a look now at these vetoes and see who this favors. What map can we expect to see these teams face off on?
It's hard to say. Anytime you're playing like your own nation, it kind of normal logic, I kind of just thrown out the window. I would say, if I was going to use normal logic, I'll say Train, Inferno, or Cash. Probably leaning towards Cash or Train, but like I said, they might have some super secret strategy up their sleeve.
I think Pimp's definitely onto something there. The rivalry thing that's a real thing, and I don't know how many people take that into account when we come to a match like this. That it could potentially go either way, barring, you know, obviously you don't get the map you want or starting the side you want. But as you can tell, we're going to see Cobble, Nuke, Mirage, Cash, and Overpass banned. So what do you guys think?
There's a potential for a Train here. And like, no matter if it's going to be Inferno or Train, it's going to be a close game, I think. It's like you said, like, you know each other in and out, especially a guy like Showtime. He was a part of the Immortals lineup and was a part of the core lineup for Immortals a year ago, you know, and then he got booted. But he knows what he's up against, and he can tell his teammate that they have these and these and these tendencies. Not something you can, like, watch on a server, but something he knows from personal experience. And that's why it's often so, like, close in these domestic lineup, because there's, like, the small details which is, like, the small details is like what makes a game close, you know, and what makes a less skilled team able to go up against a team like Immortals, for example.
Attention to detail is what it's all about. If you'll look there, the chat has spoken. It is 70% in favor of the Immortals. Not surprising. I do believe that's pretty fair to say. But James, when we look at Immortals, what's a player that sticks out to you to watch going into this matchup?
Normally, I would say KNG, like I said, coming back from the jet lag. Hopefully he can play up to his normal level, but if I was going to choose someone else, because he would be the obvious choice for right now, I would go with Steel. He's been really impressive lately. I don't know where it came from, but it's definitely improved. Wild.
Well, let's look over on the other side of things. What about Luminosity?
I feel Yell is the guy to look to. He's been the guy who's been playing hearts out pretty much all the time. He's been in Luminosity, and I feel he's always the guy who puts up the big numbers against the big teams, you know. A lot of the players are playing fine when they play Complexity, and they like just like below tier 2, I'd say. But it's always Yell in the big games against the big guys who shows up and actually put rounds on the board, you know. And that's needed against a team like Immortals.
Well, I'm going to take this time now to talk about something very, very important. And that is the Strafe Esports app, which you can find over at the Google Play Store or the App Store. Use it to follow along with your favorite teams, players, matches, leagues, tournaments, the whole nine. Make sure you head over there, download it now. You can even follow this matchup on the app. And with that being said, I think it's just about time to bring in the commentators who should be sitting idly by. Oh, correction, we're going to do predictions. I think I've jumped the gun on this one quite a bit. I was just so excited to get into this matchup. It's truly the one I've been looking forward to all day. So predictions, boys. It's time to actually put our money where our mouth is. I see per sources here that Hayes not having as strong of a game as some of us.
Can we not talk about it?
It's not that bad. It's not that bad. Who do you got?
I got Immortals. I'll say 16-11.
Yeah, I definitely echo that. I think Immortals is going to win, and I think it's going to be close, but not that close. 16-9.
69, I think, is a strong score line. I think you might be onto something. So You had 16.
11.
So I could probably sit somewhere in a cozy 16-10, I think. So at least we're all on the same page, am I right?
Well, yeah, but I just, something in the back of my mind is telling me LG is going to win this, and I don't know why. Well, maybe I kind of know why. KNG might be jet lagged. So that's like leaning me towards LG because I don't think they're that far apart in terms of skill. So I kind of want to go with LG, but I'm going to go with Immortals. Why not?
Could be the safe play. I mean, we're talking about a team coming off of a second place at a major with lethality, right? So they have it. It's just, will they be able to bring it here given those circumstances? And since we have been recording votes from the chat, let's go ahead and take a look at those now and see where you guys at home sit when it comes to voting for your favorite teams. And it's going to look like everybody's still siding with Immortals. So even with that factored in, it's looking like Immortals are still the favorite.
I think it's a fair prediction from the guys at home. I'd reckon the same amount of percentage. Immortals obviously are the favorites. They came out of a major placing second, which is a huge scalp for them. And also at DreamHack Masters Malmö, they managed to continue their great form. So nothing tells me Luminosity should be able to win this game. But again, it's a domestic lineup, and a best of one, anything can happen.
Best of one, anything can happen. And more importantly, on land, anything can happen. And that's why we've changed our commentators. It's time for a little bit of rotation there, and we're going to bring them in now. We've got Seaside and Blue. What's up, my fellows?
Not much. How you doing?
You know, we're over here chasing the dreams, chasing the memes.
In there.
It's the whole nine.
That's cool.
Who do you guys got in this one?
I'm actually going to favor LG here. I'm gonna take the divide a little bit here because of what we saw yesterday in the ESL Pro League. I feel like they're going to be able to repeat their victory there and pull this off again, especially on LAN.
It's been a long night for you, huh, Blue?
It's just been one long progressive day.
I feel you, man. What do you got, Seaside?
I'm going to go with Blue on this one. I'm going to agree with LG. BO1, Inferno, come out swinging with a good T-side, catch KNG sleeping, which he may even fall asleep on the mid-game, who knows? So I'm going to go LG. They've been impressing me lately, especially when they changed up their roster. So.
Well, Blue might also fall asleep, so their sleeps combined. I'm going to go ahead and give it over to you guys. Take it away.
All right, thank you very much, Sonny. Yes, it is indeed almost time to jump into this map here now between Immortals and Luminosity Gaming. Did indeed play each other just last night in the ESL Pro League. Granted, that's an online match, so a little bit different there. Only one of the maps was played. Immortals had like some travel issues or something, so they had to forfeit the first map, which was supposed to be Inferno, but they played on Cash. Now, granted, this was with Immortals still having Zach as their stand-in, and LG were able to abuse that to a pretty huge degree, actually. That was a large part of the reason why LG won that map, is because they figured out where Zach was playing on CT side and were able to kind of just constantly pressure him and beat him down and open up the bomb site that he was playing into.
Yeah, now that he's back, maybe they switch things up again, maybe go back to kind of a default kind of setup. But LG really do have the firepower. I think people have been sleeping on them lately. They've been grinding out games. I mean, if you look at what they've been up to lately, just qualifiers after qualifiers after qualifiers. Granted, haven't had too much luck, but now they're on LAN. They feel comfortable here after replacing Shiz and Destiny. They finally have a solid roster. You can see progress. As I said, they're kind of the little brother of PRCS right now, going up against the middle brother. So it should be a good bout for sure.
Yeah, the big thing here for Luminosity is just going to be like, can they finally prove themselves on LAN, right? Because they've had 3 or 4 opportunities now at these bigger LAN events, and they've pretty much disappointed every single time, to be completely honest. DreamHack Austin, as you were talking about earlier, that early group stage exit there. A couple other LANs, pretty much the same exact thing. We never really have seen them actually make it pretty deep into a tournament, or at least like, you know, a tier 1 international tournament.
Yeah, if you want to get into it, I think at the major qualifier, they beat Energy, and that's it. Out of all those teams, DreamHack Austin, they lost to Hellraisers, and I believe it was Heroic out really early. So it's kind of somewhat, when you get a roster, and over time it comes to a point where it's like you have to finally perform on LAN, otherwise you're gonna get changed. As good as you can play online and make these LANs and keep making it over and over, if you're gonna go out in groups right away, it kind of begs the question, what needs to be changed in this roster? But I'm excited now that they've made some changes, they've made it here, and Inferno should be an interesting one to go on.
Well, KNG is very much going to be the X factor in my eyes here. That could definitely swing it back into Immortals' favor. The analyst has made a good point. He's just flying in this morning. I'm pretty sure he had to fly from Brazil as well, so that was a pretty lengthy amount of travel. So he's going to have to hope that he can get back into it and not be affected by the jet lag, or just the wear of travel as well here.
And a map like Inferno, I think it's pretty even for both these teams. They play it quite a bit. They both feel pretty comfortable on it. And that's the thing about BO1s. Normally you can either band down to the other team's strengths, and then sometimes leave your weaknesses on the table. But I feel like right now they've banned equally to a map they're both feeling comfortable on. And the thing about Inferno, which is really weird to me, in North America at least, I feel like teams prefer the T side on Inferno. I don't know what it is about NA, so yes, including the BRs, I'm going to throw them in there. It just, the T sides always seem better than the CT sides from what I've been watching lately. But if you get a good start on the T side, you can roll that into something, hopefully.
I mean, the thing is, right, if you're not going to be an aggressive team on your CT side here, it's still a map where you can very easily get cut off and get forced into like 3-4 rounds in a row where, oh, they took the site. The other, you know, the other 3 or 2 players on the other bomb site now have no choice but to save because they took the site so successfully. You do have to be able to weigh your aggression properly as a CT on this map to be able to move out and get proper intel as to what your opponents are trying to execute upon. Otherwise, you're just going to fall apart on the CT side. And I think that's part of the reason why these teams do try to go over towards T side is because it's a little bit easier to kind of get your game plan together. You don't have to constantly be like reactive to what your opponents are doing like you do on CT side. Well,
gonna get the huddles in, they're gonna get the chant. And that's another thing that I feel NA teams miss. They get hyped up with each other at the beginning of the game. They just get right into it.
Yeah, absolutely. And we can see that now. We'll see if Luminosity's. I think Luminosity actually doesn't do this. I think it's mainly Immortals and SK. Let's see if we can get a shot from the other side. But I think Luminosity is a little bit more serious about it. But Immortals does have that kind of this little brotherly circle thing that we have going on right now.
Steel's last few thoughts thrown in there before they get into it. This is where Zach can get that last few seconds of input. And this is we'll see if the little brother is finally going to beat the middle-aged brother at something. It's kind of like growing up, always losing. Now that's their chance.
Yeah, but you can see that too. Luminosity, they're not doing that. They're just going to be sitting down. They're focusing on the gameplay. Like I said, they got a lot to prove here. They have another opportunity at a big international LAN, and we would hope with this new roster. And they've had quite a few months as well. I believe the other 2 players that are new to it, if you haven't been paying too much attention to Luminosity, Cello and Nekaz, I believe they joined the roster almost about 3 months ago now. So they've had plenty of time to kind of get things together and sort all the team dynamics. They're not going to be dealing with any of those like new roster issues.
So the thing about Inferno, which I've been enjoying Inferno more and more, especially after the changes, is the way the CTs start out. As you mentioned, the aggression. A lot of teams have been throwing these 3 banana right out the get-go. That allows them to hold on to that extra smoke a bit longer. The player that rotates there, typically the Opera goes there right at the beginning of the round. He can drop his smoke and then rotate back to arches and kind of be the floating kind of op. I'm excited to see Immortals and LG's take on it, because each team kind of has their special little change to it, where sometimes the Opera will take the opening pick, sometimes the Opera doesn't even go towards top banana when you go aggressive with the initial 3 players. So I'm excited for CT kind of op pressure, which is big on Inferno, especially towards mid, towards A apps. There's a lot of places where an op can really shine.
Yeah, some teams have just started doing, outright duos over towards banana as well. I don't know if they're doing it with the new roster, but I know Cloud9 has probably one of the more formidable ones in the North American scene, with Stewie and Automatic often playing on banana together there. And in a lot of games, especially in online matches, it's just like unstoppable there, and it just completely forces their opponents into the A bomb set at almost every single round throughout their T side. So much so that either Stewie or Automatic in a lot of those circumstances are able to just completely back away and rotate into A, so that they have constant control over banana and the rest of the B bomb set, obviously. And then not only that, but they're forcing their opponents into a 5v4 on the A bomb set on almost every single round too. It's really strong control, and if one of these 2 teams is going to be able to do that, it's definitely going to be a force to be reckoned with.
And another cool change when Inferno came back out, Inferno as some people call it, is the A app spammability now. It's a bit more open. You've seen a lot of teams just go for the kind of prefab default, where you have a player spamming through window to hit that long A haul. That denies aggression there towards alt. You see a lot of teams just pre-smoking mid. There's a new smoke that you can throw. That actually was an old Inferno, where you can throw it from the back T stairs. Bloom's top banana kind of denies that pressure the CTs might be going for over time towards top banana. But I think we're jumping into this one.
All right, guys, so I think it is indeed time to get started with this matchup. You may have seen it last night, but now you get to see it on LAN. It's Luminosity taking on Immortals here to move in to the final portion of this group. If they can make it to the very top, whoever takes control of this map will get to move on to that upper final.
See some utility out on Steel. Smoke, flash. He's going to be the man to have that normally for Immortals. Showtime's going to go for an early challenge. He gets one player up and towards the apps there. And you can see Luminosity just taking this fight towards top banana. Bolt's going to try his best with a Glock. 2 players actually tinked already coming in from Luminosity. That's Cello and Nekaz. That's a rough way to start off this half.
Well, now we can see the rest of Immortals pushing their way over towards that B bomb site here now, as they're going to try to push onto the site. Cello is the first man to try and sit back and spot some of this now as well. Henny will be joining Bolts. The whole team grouped up here, and they're going to use Steel as a distraction towards A. But besides that, it will be an all-in push. So all the pressure is going to be on the defenders, the 2 that are sitting in the B bomb site. Cello and Nekaz, the 2 new members for LG, have a lot of work to do here.
Ooh, nice shot from Nekaz. He actually gets a second, but Lucas and Henny quick to find those refrags. The bomb should go down momentarily. Yell's going to be the first on the scene. As you can see, all the players from Luminosity are going to group up from CT, try to make this retake happen, but Lucas back quad with the USP, going to try to deny this as much as he can, and PKL getting tagged down to 25 already. Great flash in from Immortals coming in from Banana, and that is a cleanup as Henny and Steel will find the last two, and you can hear them already getting into it.
Yeah, so Immortals take early control, and it's on their T side as well, so I'm imagining this is even greater news for them. As you're mentioning, a lot of teams choosing to take control over that T side early now, and with them winning the pistol, it's going to make things even easier. That's assuming, of course, that they do not get upset in this second round, as you are going to see the usual second round force by coming out from Luminosity. And, well, as the meta continues to shift, we see quite a few CCs in the mix there. Only one Deagle working its way out for Nekiz.
That's what I love. As soon as the UMP gets nerfed, teams have to work out their second buys. Same with the Tech 9. And even the 5-7 getting neglected, as Henny's just going to find the opening frag. That's one way to start it off for Immortals, as they're going to be able to play even more safe now. The pressure's on Luminosity to make a play with just the CZs remaining. And if you can use the CZ to its full advantage, it can be extremely deadly. We've seen countless clips throughout the last few LAN events. As there's a gap in that smoke for Yell to work with. Bolts will be the first man in with the MAC-10. If he even trades 1-for-1 and his teammates are able to follow up on it, it'd be ideal, but it is just him going on a solo mission, while the rest of his teammates focus towards the A site. Where Luminosity have gotten aggressive in A apps, however. Yeah, I think basically over there on the B bomb site, Bolt's mainly just trying to distract and keep those two CTs positioned in that bomb site, since Luminosity did decide to go for the even split instead of gambling it after they lost Nekiz. And now we can see Immortals pushing back in. Yell is trying to go for that quick rotate, obviously, after Bolts fell back, and Cello is down Banana, but I highly doubt he's really going to be too useful here with the way that things are currently going as Immortals move in. Luminosity's really not taking any of the fights here, and that's problematic, as we can see Immortals just walking right up. They get the plant, they even counter out the flank from Yell. Pickle does manage to trade one inside of Boiler, but again, they're still stuck just inside of those CT apartments. They haven't really accomplished too much besides yet, although there you go. Okay. 2 more kills coming out from Showtime and Cello, and that's going to bring it back down to an even 2v2. Oh, Henny's position, that's such a strong position as well in Graveyard, especially when you have the AK, and he just mows down the final 2 Immortals. Although it was pricey, they hold on to the AKs, they lose the SMGs, so at the end of the day, they get the job done, and that's the beauty of having these SMGs and the AKs playing back. They can go forward, get information, they grab towards the A site, and even with a stack from the Immortals in towards A apps, they just systematically break it down, and the final 2 cleaned up from Henny. So jumping into this one, just pretty much default pistols across the board. You see, what, 1 P250, a decoy? We may see that come into effect. I love that.
I mean, at the very least, off that last round, they are able to get that good economical damage going. The problem is now in this 3rd round, they could kind of make it a bit of a point, the guns that they're working with at the moment. So we'll have to see if Luminosity is able to do anything creative here to get some damage done. Well, so far it's not looking too good. 2 kills, probably a 3rd coming up here in a moment as Kanji pushes around Rapside there to find another frag against Yell. All this stuff's alive now with the 2 defenders over here towards the B-bomb site. And we can expect Immortals to move in and crunch on them in just a few moments.
Yeah, they're taking it so slow. They just left the bomb as they walk into the site. KNG's going to start the wrap. They'd love to get the money on these SMGs. That'd be the ideal situation here. KNG's going to start the pinch. Bolts will push up towards Banana to catch the player's flower pots. It's just going to come down to Cello, and he will get cleaned up. So there you have it. Immortals get the clean 3-0. Not too much damage dealt towards their economy, as they're going to be able to get a strong buy next round if this one doesn't go their way. But we could see an op buy here. I think KNG may just stick with the MAC-10, but he could definitely have... He has that option on the table, as Yell will pick it up. Glass cannon, so this is an early heavy investment from Luminosity.
Yeah, it's really up to Immortals here, whether they want to try to bring their economy down that low that early. They did suffer heavy losses again on that 3rd round, or excuse me, on that 2nd round. So it looks like he does upgrade that MAC-10, but it's only over to an AK, so he's just going to spend that smaller amount this time. Not going to go for the big op buy just yet, so Yell's going to have the only one on the field. This is dangerous, though, if Yell ends up in a bad position and drops this early on, because then that gives it right over to Immortals, and they essentially pick it up for free anyway, so they have to hope they come out successful on this 1st gun round.
They just walk through that smoke. No fear at all. Kanji leads the way. Showtime on balcony. You see 2 players get caught rotating back in. Showtime's able to hold his own, though, as he gets a second 7 bullets. So he's going to fall down into the pit, and Yell's here to support him. As Showtime's still alive, Yell will fall towards the site as it is just Showtime. Somehow still alive and back pick, goes for a 3rd, but finally his time will come to an end as Immortals will get the site. 1-man advantage. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo to who's going to plant the bomb, and it will be Bolts in the end. We could even just see an early save here, although both players are coming in from mid lane, so anything's a possibility here for Luminosity.
If anything, what they're going to try to do more than likely is push back up, see if they can get an early kill, and if they get that kill, yeah, they'll probably attempt to go. The problem is, you have this flanking boiler now, and that's essentially killed the end. It's trapped Nekez inside of the porch side now. He's going to try to see if he can sleuth his way over to the A-bomb citizen. I don't think anyone from Immortals has actually seen him just yet. He's going to move up. Wasn't checking towards pit, though, and just like that, Steel quickly takes off his head.
Take a look at how much Luminosity are really willing to invest here. About $3,000 average for them. We could see more CZs, maybe a sprinkle of utilities. This was just clean for Immortals. This was an aggressive first rifle round. They know that they're going to be probably playing a little more passive on the CT side due to not having all that utility. And it was just Trade City coming out of apps, catching those two players, rotating back to site. As we'll see Luminosity just go for some upgraded pistols. Armor out on Showtime, but other than that, not much working for them. Perhaps if they get the opening pick, maybe catch Bolts getting aggressive towards Banana. Maybe that gives a weapon over early. You can see Immortals, safe default, get a poke and prod for mid control. It's one of the nice lanes you can get if you push up mid, take these challenges towards arches and porch. But for now, it looks like Immortals are content to just take these duels.
Yeah, PKL specifically going to be hiding over there towards Boiler. Yell spotting. He does catch some of that early aggression working its way through the mid choke point. PKL's not alone either. Oh, he gets completely destroyed by that grenade, though. Already down to just 21 HP. And Immortals, now no need to speed things up here. They're just going to take it nice and slow. There's the first player Boiler gone down. Yell, nice shot, though, to respond to that with one pickup of his own, but it means very little in the grand scheme of things. Still, 4v2 as more and more players from Luminosity are eliminated from the round here. PKL sits inside a Boiler. Oh no, they don't actually see him, so PKL's able to get that double kill. The problem is now he's alone, and he wasn't able to pick up a rifle either with either of those kills happening. He's had to fall back. He panicked a little bit there because he lost his teammate a second after he got both of those kills. Now he's got to play this so carefully. Looks like he was just able to dodge the bomb carrier. Goes out to mid to try and find Bolts, but Bolts too quick on the trigger. Will shut him down and close out the round for Immortals.
Almost got timing. PKL as he wraps there. That player just gets to Arches last second, turned his back. It was a great double kill as this Boiler position just gets overlooked. At the end of the day, Immortals still stay flawless, 5-0. Again, the op is on the floor for Immortals, so that will come in play. Yell gets his back out. This time he does get armor behind it, a little bit of utility, so we could see Luminosity go for the 3 towards Banana right off the get-go, and they are. So you are going to have pressure from Luminosity early. Look for them to use a ton of utility, typically, towards top Banana, at least hold Immortals off, although Bolts have been playing it. He's been playing it very passively, very slow. He uses his utility, gets top Banana control, and slowly aggresses afterwards. As you can see already, Luminosity send that player rotating back. That was Yell with the op.
They didn't do that usual deeper smoke into Banana either there to try and take that control. I mean, it looked like we had Yell out there towards Car trying to peek towards it, but the short smoke was all we saw coming back in. So that's actually giving Immortals a lot of control. And oof, and even worse now, starting to move back in. Yell misses the initial shot around Rapside. Good response. Flash, but he keeps missing these hits. Oh, there's the no-scope, though, from Yell. He's got a little bit of opportunity to hold this, but the missed flick, he'll go down. Showtime did pick up another kill in the process, and Nekez as well moves in, drops the bomb carrier, bringing this down to a 4v2 in the favor of Luminosity. Despite the misses there from Yell, his teammates come out strong, and they aren't able to maintain control. KNG going to look to bring this back as he goes in, takes down Nekez. That'll allow them to bring the bomb back under their control. And meanwhile, over here on the B bomb site, Bolts attempted to sneak back in, but Cello had a great position, boosted up behind Nubox there.
And now it's just KNG smoking a flash to his name, however, and he does have time on his side, 35 seconds. And he knows there's one player towards B, gonna try to isolate him, spots it.
He saw him.
Yeah. Trade smokes, gonna try to plant in it. At least he'll get some small kind of victory out of this, as he will be successful in doing so. 78 HP, runs back towards CT. A play out they might not be expecting as KNG finds PKL, knows there's a second close. Not worried about the one towards site just yet, but maybe he should have been as Cello will walk push down and save his teammate, as that will get LG on the board.
A good attempt at a 1v3, though, from that last member alive there from the Immortals. He just overpeaked that just a tad towards the end of it, and that allowed Cello to move in and pick up the final kill. I think he still believed he was safe behind the smoke, but it wasn't the case anymore, so that ultimately leads to that player's death, and as you said, puts Luminosity onto the board. Still going to be a while before they're in a safe situation, though. As you can see, Immortals still has enough cash to buy through this round, and they could potentially force in the next round, too, depending on if any players save or not. We'll have to see how that pans out. If Immortals doesn't just outright strike back here and reset Luminosity.
Yell's gonna find Bolts. That's a good start. We'll see if Sandbags gets overlooked, and Lucas not even gonna check it. The first time Luminosity has stayed aggressive after getting the opening pick. It's been a while, but Cello's gonna stay there towards Sandbags. Yell's even gonna come back and support him, as Luminosity put the 3 players towards Banana off the rip, and it will pay off. the two-man advantage. Nekez once it gets aggressive as they actually molly Cello into his own corner. They'll even put it out, so they're at least not kind enough to do that. As Luminosity looking good into this round. Hendy's going to try to find some kind of refrag, as Mortals have negative map control. Still trying to fight for top banana. They haven't moved up and aggressive towards mid yet. Still very, very anxious moments right now.
There was a really good smoke from Luminosity as well that was tossed down about halfway up banana at one point here that did stop the hit from Immortals and allowed the rest of these guys to get together. The problem is they have, to a certain degree, overplayed their hand on B a little bit. So it is essentially going to turn into a 3v2 now, unless they go all the way through into arches. I don't think that'll be the case. I believe they are still going to go over to the A-bomb site. But they haven't given themselves away here just yet. So Showtime, along with, I believe, PKL sitting on this site, are going to have a lot of work to do to hold this off, as there's no sign of a rotate coming in from the other bomb site there. Showtime spots it, though, and that is indeed going to start the race from that B bomb site to get more and more players over here. Smoke against Showtime, so it's all on PKL. No, Showtime actually just goes right out into the open, taking a big risk, but it pays off. As he gets a kill, PKL, he's not nearly as successful. Cello, he needs to get in here. He had a great opportunity to potentially kill both of those players, but now he's missed it. And Henny took down Showtime in the process. Now Henny, he sits back, he's waiting up on top of the box, this push to move back in, but he misses the spray. Kanji will trade for one more, but now he's stuck in the corner. Nowhere to run. Nekez is going to finish it off for Luminosity as they claim a second round.
Nice quick rotations from Luminosity. Again, they sent the 3 towards banana at the beginning, rotated one back. Immortals fought back into that run hard near the end there. At least they get the plant, they deal some damage. The Luminosity sticking together there for the retake. You can see the UMP getting the job done at the end. KNG tried his best, but when your back's in the corner, you only have an op, you really have to hit those first shots. As soon as he missed, you know his days were numbered. So 5-2. Yet to break the economy is Luminosity. Immortals still have enough cash to get a respectable buy on the board. Lucas, however, will be down to a Deagle AKs for his teammates. And Luminosity going to go in for the double op. We haven't seen this one yet. It's on Nekez. So that gives the room from Yell to stay over towards A and keep pressure towards mid. So it's double op. May find the opening pick.
Yell's getting aggressive with it too. You can see he's already peeking out towards mid choke point over there. Not going to spawn anyone. Most of Immortals did push up their ult mid there, and they took quick apartments control. It's not too big of a task anymore on this newer version of Inferno, but still moves them in. Good smoke placement from Luminosity, though, is going to delay them to a pretty significant degree, as they will have to wait this out before they can try to adventure any further forward. But they're just playing into a default right now, not really trying to take any huge amounts of control. Just trying to move in, seeing if they can get lucky, find any overexposed members of LG, and if they can, well, that's great. If not, they'll eventually group up in the next 30 seconds or so here and move towards their actual hit, which you can start to see form up towards the B-bomb site now.
And Nekez just going to wait for the swing to come in from Immortals. One flash will neutralize it, but it comes down to timing, essentially. Immortals going to go for a full-blown execution. Looks like it is just going to be one flash and a swing. But a well-timed smoke. Nekez's teammate in sight will hold Immortals back for now. And you can see Immortals, they've expended a lot of utility so far to gain this control. They're almost at this point committed with 40 seconds on the clock. Well, no map control, and all 5 are there.
You just saw it as well as Nekez threw out the other smoke, so they're going to re-smoke this one. They still have a Molotov on one of the players on this bomb site too, but they're out of time. They have to push back in and see if they can enter onto this site. And as they move back in, well, no one's getting any kills right now. Finally, Nekez will strike Cello, dink the player over by Old Grill there. Now, Nekez, he lines himself up for another one, spots the head of a third. He's going to miss that shot though, so he stays alive for the time being, and that's going to give them more and more control. Great pop flash coming in from the other side towards CT, but Bolts kills his teammate, and Lucas takes him out as well. PKL will trade onto 1, but it's still a 3v2. However, they can't safely plant the bomb. Lucas, he's trying to stay alive here, but he needs these 2 extra kills. Otherwise, the round's going to end. He's not going to be able to find that plant, and Luminosity will indeed win it out on the timer.
He holds on to the AK the last few seconds in case he will get pushed from the site. Picks up the op last second. They'll carry that over. But a great execution, really, from Immortals. They're kind of pressured, backs to the wall with 40 seconds left. As I mentioned, they ran out of utility. They had to commit to that one. It was a nice attempt coming in from Nekez to try to work the op around the site, but the trades were just coming in to Immortals' favor at the beginning. Then Luminosity with quick rotations from CT, able to chop him down at the knees as a Nova. And op, very mixed buy from Immortals. The op gets saved and thrown over as Luminosity will get the UMP out, maybe trying to farm it up a little bit.
That utility usage from Luminosity, I think, is ultimately what won them that round, as it did push the timer down so low, forcing Immortals into that execute. Immortals, again, they pushed their way back in, but it's like a super messy execute. Granted, it's not the greatest hold from the 2 default players on the site from Luminosity either, but if you whiff shots on both sides of the equation there. But ultimately, Luminosity, with their great utility usage, was able to delay it long enough to bring that down to the 0 timer and win it out there. So now they're just 2 rounds away from tying it. This should be bit of an easier round for them, but Immortals are going straight forward to the A bomb site this time, which is something they haven't really attempted to do just yet, except for one other gun round. So we're going to see how this plays out. They've already lost one player trying to sneak around Rap's side. You'll note, obviously, Immortals don't have anywhere near the utility they've had on past rounds either. So they are just, for the most part, going to have to try to dry peek into this site, see how it works out. One flashbang moves in, prevents PKL from getting the kill, but now the bomb gets dropped on the site. KNG, he's there for at least one trade, though, and Steel finds another one from up on top of the balcony. One trade is picked up by Showtime, but KNG shows up once again to bring it back down to a 2v2.
Bomb placement is so unfortunate. Ninja box. KNG will stick this plant. Henny upgrades. Over to M4, down to 7. The SK Molly going to clear out that middle of sight as KNG's just going to be posted on this. Luminosity going to use up the utility. They still have a Molly, but they'll peek. That's one for KNG. Getting pushed. Can't find the shot, but Henny back sight will clean it up, and Immortals will push it to 6. As Luminosity, look at their economy. It is in shambles right now, Blue.
Well, I said it. Should have been a straightforward round for Luminosity, but apparently that wasn't the case at all there. One stray flashbang coming out from on top of the balcony gave them enough room, and really good trades in general there. They were losing quite a few of their players at first, but they were able to battle it back quite nice and take out their site players, and the post plant just became that much easier.
Henny for the opening pick. Yell's just going to book it down mid. You get to this corner, old Inferno, this corner used to be a bit bigger. Yell's going to have to suck it in to try to just sit in this corner. Spotted with his teammate pushing down, but he's missing his shots, and that's going to pay. That's going to pay for his life, and he missed those many shots. As Cello just going to swing one frag for Luminosity, but Immortals lucky 7. They hold on to the op, only losing one member. The rebuy will come in. Someone will toss an AK over to Steel. And Luminosity at a crossroads right now. Do they invest into this? And they're going to. So they're going to get another UMP out. PK will have the second UMP. That allows for a bit more utility, but you can see there two mollies across the board, 2 nades. This could be another round where Luminosity may feel almost pressured to get aggressive.
Yeah, we're going to have to see, because they do have, like you were saying, they do have quite a few SMGs on the table still, but I think with how poorly the last round went, they're probably going to shy away from anything that aggressive. They might play a little bit more forward, like up towards like mid-choke point or deep down banana, but it's not even looking like that, actually, now that we can actually see the splits a little bit. They're very passive, with the one exception being that they're kind of creeping around the corners over further out towards A, towards like mid-choke point, but they're even giving that up now, too. Yell's like falling back behind arches, PKL's on the site now, and the 2 players on B, they didn't even try to venture out towards banana, so they're just sticking on the site, and they're going to let whatever come into the site.
You can see Immortals aren't too pressured. They know Luminosity, this buy is going to be a little lighter on the utility side, just trying to bait out as much as they can. They know they'll be opless, so they're not too scared about taking these nice jiggle peeks across the map. As Lucas is going to clear porch. Again, bait out another flash, bait out another smoke. Just try to get Luminosity dry before Immortals go in. As Henny's going to slowly work up towards banana, peeking into the site, doing this completely alone. So if he falls here, back control given up, but a lovely shot. Cello didn't even see that coming. Henny, even a smoke CT to kind of give the illusion that there's more than just him there. Luminosity not biting that bullet yet, though.
And the best part is this is all just a fake right now, too. So it has caused some ease over on the A bomb site, but they're still sitting there. They're not rotating anybody off just yet. That may change now, but it's too late. KNG moves in, cuts off Yell, and the trap has been sprung. Only 2 remains from Luminosity. They're here on the A bomb site. Immortals, in theory, could actually just call this off and go to B, where they have a free open site, but I think they know it's a 5v2, so they're going to push their luck. The problem is they maybe push their luck a little bit too much with the timer being this low. Lucas finds one. Oh, Showtime! He runs out of ammo. If he didn't do that, he might have actually been able to pick up another kill there and do some decent damage to Immortals, but they will indeed win out the round with 3 players alive.
And now it's another one of these kind of weird situations for Luminosity. Round 12, we have about $2,700 as Henny finding both entries into the site. So we'll see what Luminosity decides to invest here. It looks like a Zeus is a fair investment coming in from Nekiz. PKL goes for the CZ, a couple P250 sprinkled into the works. As Showtime, whenever they go for these half buys, Showtime's always the one with the armor. Now, I don't know if this is just a habit of his or he always has more cash, down to 1850 in comparison to 2200 for everyone else.
That guy's almost getting spammed as well from over here behind the half wall. He's going to risk it, though, because he has that Zeus. He wants to use it. Oh, no, they find him. And I think he got tagged as well by the op. You can see his body move for a second there. So Bolts and Henny are indeed going to combo together and take him down. That's already knocked out 2 players. Showtime looking for a trade from out on top of the window room there. Not going to be happening. And now just 2 remain. They are here ready to fend off on the B bomb site. And a sneak kill comes out from the flower pot position there. Yell is able to find one small victory, granted, but at least it is something. See, as there are 2 other players on Immortals that are quite low right now, Lucas and KNG, right around 10 HP. Chell's going to move in, he finds one. Unfortunately, aim punch is going to be too much to pick up that second kill, and Bolt will clean it up after that. But like I said, they do some decent damage again.
The op could come back out for Yell again. going to have to be that almost glass cannon, not a single piece of utility in that respect, as the M4s will come back out. So no UMPs this time, sprinkled in for Luminosity. It hasn't been a very banana-heavy kind of fighting Inferno yet. There's been a little bit of aggression shown towards top banana, but as soon as Immortals throw that molly towards back sandbags and flash, Luminosity are content to fall back into the site. Perhaps that will change now as the scoreline is starting to tilt heavily towards Immortals' favor. As here we go, the banana aggression we're waiting for, and Cello only gets one before he goes down. As Nekis is able to trade it back, so in favor of Luminosity this time as Immortals just trying to take these fights straight off the rip as bolts will shut down Nekis. Yell is falling all the way back to site, and it looks like Immortals want to commit to this. They know there's 3 here. As Yell finds 1 on the way in, 2 more to find, Henny and Lucas. As they'll actually put a smoke on him, he's going to push through it. Yell finds the bomb planner. Not too sure what the game plan there was from the Twins, as it is just Henny alone. And he's going to find it. Yell, 3K from him, locks down the site. Immortals, perhaps a little too aggressive in that one.
I mean, that was very disorganized play, it seemed like, from the guys on Immortals there. The smoke going into Emo corner, I'm pretty sure they knew he was back there as well. So that wasn't just a blind guess. I mean, again, you can't really count on him pushing back out, but there's no support. Like, where's Henny right now to trade that kill back out after he kills the planter? Just caught looking the complete wrong direction there, and just allows him to completely shut down the offensive.
Again, default 3 banana. Luminosity going to throw some deeper mollies. This could lead to some aggression from these riflers. Flash over, Chell is going to take the peek. All 3 want to take these engagements in the way of the Opera right now, as they are just going to fall back, allow the Op to continue to hold that angle. They could leave the Op here alone. They can say, Yell, anchor this site, don't play too aggro, use your utility wisely and just hold it. Get 1, fall back to site if you can, but make sure you don't concede this without getting a player rotated back. So that's the game plan. That Steel is going to work towards a Apps. Luminosity do have a player on Balk and 1 player in Pit. Common setup. Allows that player in Balcony to get 1 and fall back safely while the player in Pit can hold his back and hold his porch push. That's Cello. Playing just on the edge of this smoke. Hoping someone from Immortals goes through, but Immortals slowly but surely grinding their teeth through this round, getting map control second by second.
And I think Yell is even starting to slightly get ready to rotate over towards A as well, so I'm pretty sure Luminosity knows exactly what's happening. This is a good gamble they've taken right now. They got to be careful with their aggression. A great flashbang goes in, but Steel better with the timing. He's able to take down Showtime regardless. Cello, the cheeky sneak out from the pit there. He is able to trade it back, though, bringing things back down into a 4v4. But with this happening, and he's going to sit back and wait, and perfect timing on his own shot. He takes down Cello. They should start the rest of the hit for Immortals. They start to move into the site. Instant headshot from Steel again. Nekis trades for 2, but he also goes down to Lucas, putting it all on Yell once more in a 1v2.
This could be a save if Yell doesn't find a player shortly. Like for him to fall off. He's pretty committed at this point with being in this cubby corner. And with the op still on Henny, he could be posted towards lane. You can see Lucas doesn't know he snuck out yet, but he will spot it. Lucas will put Immortals up to double digits on their T side of Inferno. I mentioned NA typically do a bit better. Same with BR on their T side of Inferno, so the scoreline isn't it's not out of the reach of Luminosity yet. They still have that T side to go look forward to, but Immortals are looking sharp. They're finding their shots. They're shutting down Luminosity's aggression towards Banana when they go for it. And more importantly, they're trading, if not in advantage, even all the time across the map.
Well, we'll go into the final round now. You can see the buy from LG is not going to be the best. 3 SMGs along with 2 CZ buys. They try to toss out some of their utility early on here down Banana, and again, doesn't really do a whole lot of damage, about 20 being connected onto Henny, so it's not a great amount overall here. They try to peek back out as well, but nice moves from Immortals, and they quickly get themselves behind coverage and prevent those upset kills from rolling back in against them.
Showtime being sneaky, not anymore.
Not sneaky enough.
Yeah, that figured that one out as KNG pushing mid. PKL, nothing he can do is it's just 3 UMPs left here. And they really don't have much going for them. Immortals gain a apps control. They're going to molly Cubby out towards mid. And that is just going to be a burnt Yell. So it's just going to leave one Cello alone towards Arches as well. KNG will swing on it, but KNG wins it. And Immortals 11-4. And look at the scoreboard. Everyone from Immortals is playing well. There's no one you can really single out and say, well, they could have done this a bit better. Everyone's fragging out Luminosity. They tried that upper Banana aggression with 3 players. And whenever they had the op, typically they'd send Yell there. They even tried to leave him as an anchor once or twice towards Banana, but Immortals just did a nice job with a sound default. Nothing too crazy. A couple rounds, they just went right into some aggression towards Banana, and that is when Luminosity shut him down and actually got that one round. Other than that, it was a sound default from Immortals, pressure towards mid and A-apps, and just shutting down that top Banana play, which is so difficult to do.
Well, the analysts were wondering how KNG specifically was going to perform, having just hopped off the plane here and you know, potentially having Zach really fill in for this match because of KNG's potential late arrival. But he made it, and it seems like he came ready to play too, as he's leading the team in frags 16-12, and also has the highest ADR on the team at the moment with 116.4 overall as well. So he's definitely showed up to play here and is not disappointing at the moment.
Not at all. We're going to jump into this pistol round. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. The second half is about to get underway. We'll see what the buys are going to be like in this pistol. You'll see again, we'll see Steel buy that kit and smoke. He's going to be the utility man for the squad. Armor for the rest of the teammates as PK will get a smoke flash himself. We'll see where they decide to use that smoke. Typically where that smoke is used, you'll see them play around it on the T side. Steel's going to hold on to that smoke until later into the round as Bolt's content to just jump across. No pressure. Henny holding top Banana. Fairly safe across the board for both teams, but Luminosity, that's one flash gone out of two. And they'll take advantage of it, slowly but surely, inching their way up Banana. And Henny, this is an angle.
Saw the head there of the player jumping up on top of logs for a second, but was not able to hit the mark. So he'll fall back. He knows that they're pushing up Banana a little bit. Doesn't know to the degree of which yet, but you'll have to note he's alone currently. The rest of Immortals did take a pretty big gamble, stacking 4 towards A, assuming the hit would work its way over there. And Henny does not have any additional utility to help him in holding this off. It seems, though, that the aggressive pressure out from Banana was enough, as Luminosity is going back up mid right now, so they may end up going into this trap setup anyway.
And you can see Yell slowly but surely going up, and you're right. The trap is sprung on towards A. That's where Immortals are wishing Luminosity slowly press forward for 2. And it really comes down to the information Showtime gets in A-apps. If he swings and spots all these players, but no, the Portuguese players are going to go at the same time, and Bolts is dinked, but doesn't matter with the amount of teammates he has, and so far it's going Immortals' way as Bolts still jiggling around in pit, and Steel is going to show up to the party as Bolts finds the last, and Immortals will pick up the second pistol, and they'll go up 12-4. And I imagine Luminosity are going to invest here. We'll see how many of them have replaced their Tech 9s with CZs. But Immortals will buy up their respected SMGs, which I feel is down to preference now due to the UMP becoming relatively less impactful.
Crane hold from Lucas on the site and some assistance coming in from Steel here too. I'm sure Lucas would have gotten that third kill if Steel wasn't there. You can see it was right on the mark for his head. But ultimately, Immortals, that trap setup works perfectly for them. Bit of a mistake from Luminosity choosing to change up the sight, and it cost them the pistol. Now we're going to see more aggression over here on Banana's side. You could tell towards the end of that last step that Immortals are starting to get very confident, so much so that it was actually causing them to make a few mistakes. But, oh, actually, Yell, great swing out there. It's unfortunate that Henny's standing right behind him, so they're going to trade that back twofold. But still.
Luminosity do have A-apps control, although it's all on that one player. I believe that's Showtime, bottom stairs, to grab that bomb. No, that is Cello on the move. Gonna go grab that bomb as his teammates. That kid will push up Banana, and Henny's gonna be holding top Banana. Bait and switch with the player in sandbags. Nothing too crazy for Immortals here. And all the frags they get will be farming up that cash. As Nekis is just holding for a peek from Henny. Henny's just holding the off angle. Previous round pistol, he was playing the headshot. A little more to the right. Swing comes in from Nekis, clean up from Henny. Looks for the second, but here goes KNG. Pressing forward with the UMP. The knife actually comes out. He'll get it. Showtime will get shanked. And there you have it. Immortals making extra, actually even more cash than what the UMP can make you.
It's such a well-coordinated push, too, from Immortals. So just make sure that they quickly clean that back up. You can see the player on the right swings out first with the ump, then falls back, allows for KNG to move back in, use his primary ammunition, and then Henny can come back in there. We do see KNG kind of stealing the kill at the end with a knife, but Henny was trained on that with the pistol ready to go anyway.
Sticking with the SMGs, knowing Luminosity will be just on Glocks for the most part across the board. No armor, no utility. They airstrike down mid and push. They just want this round over with.
Oh, Yeldo surprises as he moves up from mini pit there and is able to take out at least one player. It's, again, a short-lived victory, though, as it gets traded out a couple of moments later. Immortals just going for the crusher on this round. They don't want to give them any time to think at all. And it's a good thing, too, because it forces them into the gun round, where maybe Luminosity might have not been super prepared for this. They might have been trying to slow play this round a little bit more to try and talk about how they want to play things on the gun round. Now they've been kind of thrust into it as Immortals play that so aggressively.
Well, AK is across the board. Smokes for everyone but PKL. He is the lone molly. Luminosity can't afford to hold a default for too long. They can gain control right off the get-go. Try to use as little utility to do so as possible. Save some for the execution as the molly already gets used towards Banana. To good effect, it forces that player off the aggressive angle early as Henny will just play the angle with his UMP. We've seen how deadly he can be with it so far against pistols. We'll see if that continues in against rifles. As it was double stack from Immortals here. Right, holding the stairs. They're allowing Luminosity to jump into that room, and they dare them to push towards Ahaps long. As Henny still wants to get aggressive. Of a smoke thrown deep. We'll see if Luminosity are going to fall back or push forward. It is going to be Nekez, and he will force them both back to site. So no action as of yet. A little bit of damage back and forth. But Immortals just going to fall back. Play this one safe.
Yeah, the flash scares them off well enough here now, so they will set up for the usual B defense. It's a good way for Luminosity to move in and at least get a little bit of clean control without actually having to take too much of a fight. You did see Nekez being brought down to about half of his HP, but besides that, nothing else being lost. And they also traded that HP back onto Lucas. He's also at the same amount. So for right now, Luminosity, they take control of top Banana. They're not doing anything with it just yet, and the timer is getting quite low, so if they're going to execute here, they're going to want to try and do it pretty soon.
I love this double stack.
They still have these two players over here at alt mid, though, so it's going to take them another, like, 10 seconds or so to get everybody grouped up. They're probably going to have to execute a little bit early before these two guys group up with them. And we can see Showtime tossing out the smoke over there towards mid on Boiler's side. He's going to try to keep some of those CTs over in the A-bomb site. Finally, they'll go in, but they're not leaving themselves a whole lot of time. Henny, he's sitting here ready to defend this, but they trade it evenly, 2 for 2. And that'll be enough to not only get control of the site, but plant the bomb. Ooh, KG, a very, very close shot right there to take out an additional player, but it will miss and keep this even at a 3v3.
Here's the wind whiz by as that bullet flies by him. Post plants with Luminosity. Looks strong. They keep it Banana control as well. And there's Cello. Gonna find Bolt. Showtime. Back quad. Good flash over. Should catch one. Can't find the second. It's just KNG. 1v2 up in hand.
No kit either.
No kit. Yeah, he's gonna try to save this into the next. This will put Immortals on 15, and the op won't even get saved. Luminosity seem to have fumbled a little bit here as Immortals will just plow forward.
Yeah, so Immortals sitting at 14, just 2 away now from a victory for them. Luminosity does pick up the 1 round there. So finding a little bit of life for them to try and work with here. And even though they win that round, though, you only get to buy into it. Showtime still has to go for a Galil, so a little bit of a sacrifice there. Immortals, though, they're still at full strength. They had a nice little clean set of runs at the beginning of this half, so they still had a decent amount of cash left over.
I did go a little crazy there. I did say Immortals would be on 15.
It's all good.
I'm losing my mind. We're back on track. Henny, it's time with the op. The weapon he's more profound with over the UMP is he's just going to hold this, kind of the anchor. Anytime they can just leave Henny here to hold the angle, as Lucas will use his utility. A nice deep molly. Henny may peek on the back of this, perhaps, as they will. Holding the left wall. Great flash, but he lines one up. And even the legs yell. They line up for him, but is only able to get 1 frag. Good damage dealt. As he's going to continue to hold for the repeat, playing on top of these barrels. And the plywood that lies there. As Immortals looking to put the pin in this one, try to get to 15. Yell, looking for any kind of refrag he can get. But Luminosity now have to be worried. They have to expend some kind of manpower here to try to get Henny off of this. And the flash will do the job.
He's gonna be careful, like nades getting tossed out against him here too, since he's so low and already got legged from earlier. He's gonna push forward. Showtime is gonna push forward to try and retrieve that gun, so he's not gonna have to work with the Galil anymore at the very least. But besides that, again, Luminosity just running right into a wall here. It seems they're gonna try to fake A little bit here again with the smokes, and they'll actually commit someone to it this time. It looks like they're gonna keep Cello over here and see if he can pick up a couple kills, or at the very least delay the rotate this time. But still, you know, it's a consistent... It's actually only 1 on the B-bomb side right now, actually, now that I look at it again. We did see Lucas cheating over a couple of moments ago, so they have that extra player, but he's on his way back now, as Henny's heard the signs, and it's up to him to hold this, though. He's still got to wait another 10 seconds before he can have a teammate helping him out. He gets that first kill. He's safely tucked away behind Nubox. The molly. He's not forced him out. Oh, through the wall actually gets Showtime. And Yell and Cello, though, they'll trade both those kills back. Yell with a crucial miss, and he was already low. Only 1 bullet from Lucas is needed, and now Bolts pushes in, gets that last kill, and sets Immortals up for a map victory. If they can win 1 more round.
Very little time on the clock for Luminosity to commit to that, and Henny does a lovely job not only of finding the first pick and doing damage to Yell, then falling back to site knowing he's expended his utility, has to hold from back default, and hold he will as he's able to get 2. He may burn alive, but he's done his job, as that will push Mortals match point. Op still in Henny's hands, and Luminosity's buy is anything but decent. You'll see 1 UMP on PKL, 2 smokes, barely anything to work with. And I think Immortals, they can smell blood in the water here. They want to get aggressive again, and it's going to be Henny, of course. Who else? As he'll be posted down Banana. daring someone from Luminosity to just show face.
There's the flash. He dodges it completely, and out they go. There's one, but actually stays in the open for a little bit too long. Steel was able to get another kill closer towards A. That bomb is still way down at Crossroads, too. Showtime bullies his way into an additional kill. And what's this now? Yell getting another pickup as well. Somehow it's even, down to a 2v2, despite Luminosity primarily just having pistols at the start of this round. They've managed to trade this back out. Immortals making quite a few crucial mistakes here, and it's cost them.
Luminosity have left the bomb all the way back towards T stairs.
Yeah, this is the one good thing that Immortals still playing into their favor is they have a lot of time to adjust now. But they're gambling on it. They're not splitting 1 for 1. They're actually both going to play together here.
Didn't check his map for a second there. As Yell going to slowly work back up. I think they feel comfortable now going into this banana control. They know someone from Immortals has certainly rotated, but it's just going to come down to timing really. KNG is going to push down. As soon as he spots no one's there, we could even see Bolts just commit into sight. Yell's going to try to wrap Bolts. We'll hear a sound cue momentarily. Luminosity with 30 seconds will get caught out. Bolts gets the first, looking for the second, and there you have it, Immortals. The big brother will prevail today. And it looked very dominating as well from them.
Yeah, so they get revenge from their match last night on Cash, and they're able to take control of this one here on Inferno. Congratulations indeed to the Immortals. They'll be able to push through into the winners final of their group. And with one more victory, they'll be able to push completely through as well, skipping tomorrow and heading straight through into the semifinals.
And what I really like what Immortals did there. They knew Luminosity were playing on their Immortals on their T side. They knew Luminosity would be getting aggressive toward Banana. Most teams have that default in their back pocket. But as soon as they realize they're playing 3 Banana, they're just like, okay, Bolts, do your thing, you know? Or not Bolts. Immortals kind of just shut that down by using the utility. You notice they didn't get too aggressive, challenging towards Banana, knowing they have that op from Yell posted on the majority of the time. You saw them throw that 1 molly, 1 flash, and every time they knew Yell would just fall back in its sight. I think that just shows you this, like, the process of eliminating that pressure that comes down from top Banana, and also watching a couple demos, knowing that they like to send that Yell over with the op when he has it, and just kind of shutting down Banana, which is kind of key to Inferno. Also with the mid, it never really was contested from Luminosity. Immortals, once in a blue moon, would go for these peaks, and when they had SMGs and they knew the other team was on a weak buy, would push. But outside of that, Immortals did a nice job of just controlling the pace on both sides.
Just in general, I mean, the CT side across the board from Immortals was just way more aggressive, and that's what you kind of need to do on this map, in my opinion, in order to be successful. We saw that plenty of times, as you mentioned, towards top Banana, towards mid, they've played it out. Even, I mean, even like simple things, right? Like on that 3rd round when they tried to, when they really went in and crunched them, when they were on that full eco right there. Just smaller things like that as they really tried to just take their opponents down, not giving them any room to breathe at all. And that's why they take such a swift victory and such a dominant one as well. LJ, I was expecting quite a bit more from them after what they were able to do tonight. I mean, their kind of creative play to work around Zach, but it seems with KNG coming back onto the roster, maybe they were expecting Zach to be there again and tried to plan around that, but with KNG making it here in time, his individual performance alone there too really shined once again for the team.
Yeah, I'm excited to see Immortals moving on, but for now, we're going to move on to the panel.
All right, well, there you have it. That one did not come down even kind of close to, I think, one of those bouts that would really kind of signify, I guess, what we thought it was going to be. What do you guys think?
I mean, Immortals won, right? That's what we predicted correctly. But I expected way more from Luminosity, especially considering the way they manhandled the Immortals yesterday. I believe it was on Cash. So, you know, a little bit lackluster from Immortals. From Luminosity.
Yeah, I agree. I felt like when I was watching Immortals, they just played with some supreme confidence. There was, in particular, round 11, they had bracket control as terrorist, and they had top Banana control. And everyone on LG was just hiding, and they had guns. So I felt like they just cornered LG, and they felt like they couldn't do anything. And Henny just walks into B and gets 2 kills for free. It's just pure confidence.
Well, a little further than that, though, we do know the situation regarding KNG and how he got here, you know, and the circumstances around it. And it seems like he didn't miss a beat. It seems like this guy shows up, handles the business, and now they're walking away with the W.
He's trying to establish himself as a top player, I'd say, like in the entire world right now. Like 3 months ago, I don't think anyone would believe that. Like when they picked him up, it was like a guy that nobody really knew too much about. Potential was shown for sure, but at this level, I don't think anyone expected him to be this good, this consistent as well.
I agree.
Well, we do have a replay loaded up for you at home. This is going to be Hen 1. You want to walk us through this one, Tim?
Yeah, it's simply as James said, confidence, and Henny with the AK and the op, he's able to do both, and he did that throughout this game as well. That's one of the things Immortals can capitalize on, that they have two very capable ops to put into the game, and Henny showed that he's there both with the rifle and with the op throughout the whole game.
Well, we are joined by Zach, the man, the myth, the legend, and you know what? You fill in, you fit in. Now you're coaching in. Talk to me. What's going on over there, man?
Yeah, yesterday, actually 2 days ago, we had a problem with KNG visa, so he had to go back to Brazil to renew. So I was filling for some games, probably gonna fill until 20 September. But not that I want it, not that I like it, but I have to do it. But it's great it's great to see KNG play with them. It's changed the whole team.
It's an interesting thing to note, too. I mean, it seems like he might have had a long night. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
And then he comes in here today and he says, you know what, this is just the way it's going to be, baby arm, right? So talk to me about his mindset coming into this today.
He didn't play for 3 days, because it was so many trips. We came from DreamHack Malmo, he went back to Brazil in the same day. One day after he came here in the same night. Yesterday he arrived at 1 a.m. So he didn't sleep too much, but he was anxious to play. He's addicted to the game. I think everyone that wants to be a pro or is a pro. So when he came here, he said, dude, I just want to play. It doesn't matter. I just want to go and play right now, 6 a.m. if I can. So that's great to see.
Talking about KNG, it's a player that many of us not know too much about ever since you brought him in. He was kind of like a new guy on the block. We've seen how much, or how skilled he is, and how much he's capable of controlling a game. How does the other guys on the team feel playing with KNG? It's a great fit, it seems.
Yeah, he's very skilled. He can handle all, as everyone knows. But the thing that most people doesn't know is how the leadership he have, emotional leadership. That's a thing that we were missing. With every lineup, every player that we put on the team, we didn't have that. So we need someone inside of the game that is can control every motion. So he's that one in Immortals. So that's the best part of him. But yeah, he came from Red Reserve, played really good on Europe against some teams, played Copenhagen games, some tournaments, and we gave him the chance. But he's old. Was an old player.
Yeah.
Old player.
He's old.
Yeah, old player.
So talk to me a little bit about Inferno. We do know that you guys in Malmo dropped the map to north, and then here you look really strong. Is it safe to say either you guys worked on it, or is it more so that this rivalry possibly between you and Luminosity? What is the real driving force there?
There's no rivalry against Luminosity. They are a great team, great friends, but we lost yesterday against them. But we're in a bad condition. They played really great. I don't think it would change if KNG was here or not, because they were better yesterday. But Inferno is a really strong map for us. We played against North. We were very confident, got destroyed. So maybe it's not our best map, but it's the one that we most like to play. So yeah.
How about for this tournament? You played North at DreamHack Masters, right? And you ended up losing. Do you think you can turn it around this tournament?
I'm not sure, to be honest. To be honest, we didn't have any preparation for this tournament because for the reasons we had, so many issues. But we're gonna try new maps because they're not gonna play Inferno. If they are thinking about playing Inferno, no.
You certainly heard it there first. That is definitely words to look out for. Well, Zach, I appreciate you coming and joining us. I want to wish you guys the best of luck for the rest of the tournament. We're gonna pull up some statistics though, take a look and kind of see just how much Immortals had an impact on this game. Henny coming out gunning, KNG and Bolts just lesser than that, and then you see Steel and Lucas. Walk us through these stats, guys.
I mean, look at the ADR from Henny. 116, I believe it says. Yeah, classes, okay. 116. That's pretty much insane, especially for Henny, who used to be this op player for Immortals. Now he has to move into a role where you also have to handle the rifle a lot of the times, and he seems very capable of doing so, which was one of the points that a lot of us doubted, when they brought in KNG for this lineup.
Yeah, and I think KNG stepped up, jet lagged. I guess it doesn't matter. This guy's a beast.
Yeah, this guy's a monster. But I think it's really cool. You hear about the mentality, you hear about the mindset that he does have, and I think that sort of that thirst, that hunger for the wins, to better yourself is huge to have as sort of a teammate. I think there are teams that lack that, and that really hurts them.
I agree, and one of the players that I've played with, and we talked about earlier today, was PTR. He's one of those guys. He always keeps the morale up for the team. But
heart and soul, brother.
Heart and soul, brother.
And it's good to hear as well, you know, because a lot of players nowadays, I can testify to that, like acting like a little bit like divas in some areas, you know, where KNG comes in 1 a.m., you know, he just want to play, he just want to, like, he lives for this game basically, and then the fact that he moved the rest of them as well, like moved their whole life from Brazil to base themselves in NA, you know, they're living and breathing CS, and that's refreshing in these days where a lot of players, especially in Europe, are acting a little bit like divas in some scenarios.
Well, the path that he has taken to get to where he is today is definitely inspirational, as it should be, I think, across the board. But more inspirational than that is the Strafe Esports app, which you can find over at the Google Play Store and the App Store. And just in case you missed it earlier, I'd be really disappointed that you didn't get it then. But I'm going to give you a second chance to grab it now. Let's go ahead and take a look at exactly what the Strafe Esports app is.